I don't think people realize what a massive opportunity you have taking the LSAT in February 2025 without the logic games section. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, back when I took the LSAT, of course, Logic Games was on the test. The test was on paper. You had to go there in person, and Logic Games just was not my forte. I bombed that section at first. It took me far too long to master it, and I would have gotten my 175 a whole lot faster had it not been on the test at all. The great news for you is that rather than removing it and replacing it with something even harder or different or strange, LSAC just nuked a third of the test, replaced that section with a whole nother section of logical reasoning, meaning more of the same, less material for you to study. You can double your attention on logical reasoning, and any gains you make in your understanding of logical reasoning are now doubled across the two sections. Now, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed despite this because there are a lot of different types of logical reasoning questions, and a lot of those massive 500-page LSAT prep phone books tend to overcomplicate and overcategorize logical reasoning with all the 15 or so different types of questions. But the thing is that you don't need to focus on all 15 questions to begin with, even though those are technically on the test, because some are more common than others. There are the big three you want to start with, and those big three collectively are the lion's share of the section. You have necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. You master those, you'll be well on your way to at least getting a 160 on the test, and then from there, you can narrow your focus to the relatively less common types of questions. But I don't want you focusing or obsessing over rare types that hardly ever come up, like cannot be true or evaluate the argument, until you have mastered all the other relatively more common question types. Now, of course, it's not just about logical reasoning question stem type. It's also about the method of reasoning in the stimulus in logical reasoning or the passage structure in reading comprehension. But there are a limited set of patterns. There's a limited bag of tricks that LSAC will pull out of the bag, and there are 58 numbered exams currently in the new LSAT format. If you do even just a third of those, you will have seen virtually everything LSAC could throw your way. And then it's just more of the same because the test makers over at LSAC are actually quite lazy. Over the course of the 30 plus years the LSAT has been around, since prep test number 1, when they introduced the pre-modern format with the logic games section, along with 2 logical reasonings, 1 reading comp, over the past 30 or so years, the LSAT's been around in roughly the same format as it is now, except of course today, no more logic games section. They just keep reusing the same thing again and again and again, meaning you've seen one test, you've pretty much seen them all. And if you want to be ready for pretty much whatever they'll throw your way, just do 5, 10, 15 exams, master those inside out, and you'll be ready for whatever you're going to see on your actual official LSAT exam. Now, if you've been self-studying or taking a course and you're finding that it just isn't really clicking for you, if you haven't seen much improvement or not nearly as much improvement as you want to see, there are a variety of ways I can support you at LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Steve, it's great that logic games are no longer on the test. It's great that there's a limited set of things LSAC will throw my way, but is the February LSAT too late for this admissions cycle to start law school roughly 6 months from the day of the test? The good news is, no, the February LSAT is not too late. You're taking it early February, scores come back February 26th. If you can hit submit on your applications and send them in within a couple days after the score release, you should be fine for virtually every single law school in the US. Of course, you can check their deadlines. You can ask the schools, will they take February LSAT results? In almost every single case, they will say yes, because they have no incentive not to take the results. Law schools are not evaluated based on when you take the LSAT, but they are rather evaluated based on the highest LSAT score on record from their matriculating students. And so if you can take the February LSAT and get a score even a couple points higher from what you would have gotten on the January LSAT, it's well worth giving yourself the additional 3 weeks or so to study for the LSAT and get the highest score possible. And during that wait between taking the LSAT and getting your score back roughly 2-3 weeks, you can work hard on your applications, personal statement, optional essays, addenda, resume, pulling together your letters of rec. And then once scores come back, you've got everything ready to go. You just send them in. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. I hope you found this video helpful. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.